Hello, everybody. My name is Happy, and I'd like to welcome you all to my History Reaction channel. Today is Thursday, so we're heading back for some more musical history, and in particular, we're going to be returning to Sabaton for Lady of the Dark. I have no idea what this video is about, other than it has something to do with, I'm guessing, World War I, based on the thumbnail, because it looked like there was a woman in trenches. I have a guess at what we might be talking about, but we'll play this and we'll see if I'm right or not. I will add what I can, where I can. I will, this is the animated version, so I will probably interrupt the animated to add some additional history when and where I can. The music we may play straight through, because often the animated history part does tell most of the story. So we'll see how it works out. If I do interrupt the music, it will be at natural breaking points and not just randomly throughout the song. With that said, though, I will include a link to the original video at the bottom of the page in the description. So if you enjoy this, please head over to Sabaton, buy some merch, toss them a like and subscribe, whatever you need to do. Let them know that we appreciate their music, their animated videos, their performances, all of it. Their coverage of history. So few musicians make a point of focusing on history. There have been a few in various genres throughout history, but Sabaton is one of the more outstanding ones that are active to this day, and we want to encourage them to keep doing it, because for a long time, this is how history was passed down through song. And I love that every once in a while you get somebody who comes along to preserve that tradition. So let's get into this and let's find out who the Lady of the Dark is and whether or not I can add anything to this. Here we go.
It's 1964 in Belgrade, Yugoslavia. It's been 50 years since the start of World War I. Events are happening across the country, but here in Belgrade, at the Monument of Gratitude to France, a ceremony is taking place alongside French, British and American dignitaries, many of whom have given service in a war that ended not 5 years earlier.
Okay, so World War I, definitely. The monument that they're putting is dedicated to World War I. The and 50 years, because 1964, that works. When he said these guys had service 5 years earlier, I'm assuming that these guys also served in World War II. I can't otherwise imagine how the math works out, but that's what I'm assuming. Or even potentially some of the subsequent wars, like the Korean War.
The veterans, officers and dignitaries are seated ready for the ceremony to begin. An old lady, dressed in a long black coat, shuffles towards the front and takes her place in the front row. The men stop talking about their exploits in the war, as curiosity gets the better of them. Who is this old lady dressed in black, sat in the middle of all these great men and heroes? Underneath her hat, the woman's eyes are like steel, but she allows herself a smile as the men's conversation turns to her. Eventually, with curiosity getting the better of him, an American officer leans in towards her and says, "Excuse me, ma'am, but who are you, and why are you here?" The old woman says nothing. She simply stands up and removes her coat. The dignitaries' mouths drop open in shock. This old lady has a chest full of medals like nothing they've ever seen before. Medals for bravery. The officer stammers, Excuse me, ma'am, I meant no offense. You have obviously shown your bravery on the battlefield. Can you tell me your story?" The old lady smiles, and her eyes appear younger as she says, "Well, gentlemen,
Gather round. Let me tell you of the times when women like me were not allowed to fight for our country and our freedom. But I did, anyway."
Okay, I know where we're going. one of, if not the most decorated women in world history. Certainly in recent history.
In November 1914, Austro-Hungarian troops invaded Serbia. They have reached the Kolubara River.
Yep.
The elite Serbian Iron Regiment are one of many valiantly defending their homeland from the foreign invaders. The Iron Regiment's assault bomber squad of shock attack troops has a commander that's tough, battle-hardened, and a fierce fighter. Milunka Savić, a woman in a man's uniform, has proven again and again her bravery and determination. Her expertise with grenades makes her a match for any man, and she...
So yeah, it is Milunka. I thought it was going to be. As far as I know, she's the most decorated woman in history. She's certainly, if not the most decorated, and she's in the discussion, absolutely. Her exploits during World War I are legendary, and she also served in the Balkan Wars before this. In fact, they kind of allude to that, because she said when women were not allowed to fight, they were absolutely allowed to fight. I mean, she was allowed to fight in the Iron Regiment during World War I openly. But during the Balkan Wars, she was not. She was kind of a real-life Mulan, if you're familiar with the Chinese story. If I remember correctly, and it's been a while, her brother was drafted, but his health was poor. So Milunka took his draft papers, disguised herself as a man, and fought in the Balkan Wars under a name, a false name. So she served in her brother's place. He was wounded in battle, and that's when they realized, holy cow, this isn't a man, this is a woman. Now, by the time World War I rolls around, she is formally and openly enlisted in the Iron Regiment in World War I, and it is an elite Serbian regiment. And yeah, she's famous for her skill with grenades. She's considered a bombardier, and an extremely skilled one. If I remember right, she said that as a child, she had played a lot of games with throwing stones, and she became very good and accurate with it, and that helped translate to her ability with grenades later in life. So let's continue, because this is kind of a nice follow-up to the last Sabaton song we did with the Night Witches, because I did do a post at the end of that about how women did participate in World War I, World War II, and are often overlooked. And people like Milunka here are iconic examples of just how well women could do.
She is both feared and respected.
Yep.
The Serbs are outnumbered and overwhelmed, and despite the pleas from her comrades, she decides to cross no man's land. Armed with a rifle and 3 bandoliers of grenades, she's determined to take the fight to the enemy.
until the end.
I do know she was wounded several times in battle. I don't remember how many times, but multiple times. And she, like they said in the video, she was very well respected. Unfortunately, like a lot of veterans, including some of the more heroic ones, the well-decorated one, she was largely neglected after the war. If I remember correctly, she went on to become known for taking care of children, fostering children, adopting children, things like that. So, but she was never, until later, remembered for her accomplishments during the war. That would change, but like in a lot of cases, too late to do her much good anyway. But I do know that she is remembered quite well and quite fondly now in Serbia, but for a while she was kind of forgotten. And that happens a lot. And we see it in multiple countries. Those decorated heroes. Sometimes they are paraded for a while, celebrated for a while, and then cut loose. Sometimes they're just cut loose right from the beginning. And that's always a tragedy when that happens.
After the battle, the new commander of the Iron Regiment asked in front of the regiment, "Which soldier or non-commissioned officer deserves the highest military decoration of Serbia, the Order of the Star of Karađorđe, for their part in the Battle of Kolubara?" A cry went up among the men.
Milunka.
Milunka Savić. Milunka Savić. Milunka Savić. Milunka, the Lady of the Dark. Milunka was informed in hospital of the award.
Yeah, so they just said Milunka Savić, the Lady of the Dark. I don't think she got that nickname back then. In fact, I think that comes from Sabaton, as far as I know. She was known as the Bomber Kolubara during her lifetime because of her skill with grenades. She was well known for her skill with the grenades, and that's why people feared her. She was not afraid to use grenades.
She quickly returned to the front lines. This was just the start of her career. Milunka Savić became the most decorated woman soldier in history, with medals from several nations for her bravery. Milunka Savić, Lady of the Dark, Bomber of Kolubara, and the most decorated woman in history, finished her days living a quiet life in Serbia and passed away in 1973.
Yeah, and like I said, a big part of that was because she was largely forgotten for a while by the populace in general, even in Serbia, but certainly the rest of the world. So it wouldn't be surprising these guys wouldn't recognize her. Again, later, Serbia in particular started to honor her after her death, which unfortunately happened a lot to these soldiers. We don't always take care of our soldiers, clearly, especially here in the States, and I'm assuming that other countries are a little bit different in how they remember their soldiers, but I guarantee a lot of them slip through the cracks, those who have done incredible things. And I do know that Milunka, for a while, was basically forgotten and neglected. And that should never happen with a soldier. Anyway, great video, great song. This is one of the more moving ones for me. I'm really having trouble holding myself together for this. I'm not really completely sure why. But part of it probably because she was, to some degree, forgotten during her lifetime. And that always bothers me. As somebody who grew up during the Vietnam era and seeing how our Vietnam veterans are treated. It's always bothered me. And, seeing, in this case, a woman who originally became a soldier by having disguised the fact she was a woman, and only later became accepted for who she really was. It's inspiring, but it also goes to show just how much prejudice there was in the militaries, that she felt she needed to hide who she was at first during the Balkan Wars. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure if that was because women weren't allowed to fight then, or if it was specifically because she was masquerading as her brother. I don't know enough about her story to know that for sure. I would imagine both. In any case, great video, great song, inspirational. And it's nice to see a soldier that's different than the rest. We've talked about a lot of people who are brave and resourceful, but now we have a woman who's a bombardier, whose specialty is grenades, and that's something new for us on this channel. So I think that's also kind of cool and interesting. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, bye-bye.